I'm sorry, I did it again. How to resolve a rumor or someone not talking to you or your neighbor believing you're doing something out of whack or hand, I'm gonna call it. How to resolve an issue with your neighbor who thinks something of you that is not. How to resolve this problem. Did you do something that maybe triggered the neighbor to think that of you? Did you say something to the kid? I know you wouldn't hit the child, that's not in you. I don't think that would be the reason. Were you shouting and swearing? Probably. Okay, let's go back in time. If a neighbor has doubt that you were probably doing something to a child that you shouldn't have done, think about what you did. If you didn't hurt the child or touch the child, then you're innocent. But people can say things and get people talking, you know. So if your neighbor you suddenly get along with and you've had a great relationship until now, thinks something of you that you've done that maybe you shouldn't have done and you thought at the time, maybe you weren't thinking at the time, and then the neighbor confronts you about it, be still, be calm, be cool, man. Think about why they're saying that. Why are they talking like that to you? Did you do the things that they're saying? If it involves authorities, you probably did. And maybe without thinking, you've done inadvertently something inappropriate, and I'm not going to say what. So, your neighbor doubts you. There are ways to go about that. Now, this is the most hardest part. Think about why they're saying that, why they think you need supervision or medication. Is there a reason behind all this? You know, I don't think the neighbor's bad, and I don't think we're bad. I think there's an issue going on here. Okay. So you're just being accused of something you did, and the neighbor thinks second thoughts of you or saying things you did that you didn't do. And maybe you think you didn't do, but the neighbor did. Or the neighbor confronted you about screaming on the street and then called the police. Well, there are several reasons your neighbor is going to call the cops on you. Be aware that maybe you done something inadvertently and you didn't realize it was against the law, right? Right, we made mistakes, so let's sort this out, please. If the neighbor had doubts about you and police are involved, that's not a good thing, right? Several things to avoid authorities and neighbors calling police. Maybe there's one thing you can do that would make it so the neighbor doesn't have to call police. If you feel that children and teenagers are harassing you, bothering you, following you, stalking you, walk away and go inside. If they say hi, and then just go inside. Say, look, I have to run right now. I got things to do. I'm very busy. And just say that. It doesn't matter. They'll get the picture, right? Every time they bother you, say, I gotta go. I got chores to do. I don't have time. Sorry. Find someone else. and then they'll get the picture. Every time you do that, the less and less they'll bother you, and then eventually completely cut you off. Now that's good, right? The thing is, you don't want to fall out with your neighbor. And you're worried that your relationship with your neighbor's coming on the rocks, right? That can happen. How are you going to solve it so it's not on the rocks? What can you do to prevent the neighbors getting the authorities involved and then having police at your door and then you ending up being arrested? How can you stop that from happening? Is there a solution? Well, there is. Here are the several solutions you can do to prevent your neighbors calling police. Now, it's really important right now, especially with this time of desperado behavior and people fighting with their neighbors, which is a very common thing, and you're not alone. Now, how to solve it is very easy. Ask the neighbor, how can I help? I think maybe you have the wrong idea about me. And just explain yourself. Now, that's the hardest part anyone can do. And it shows you're brave if you can explain yourself, because most people would say, damn, I couldn't do that. I'm too scared to do that. I understand. It's the fear that is implanted in you when you're saying that. Just ask the neighbor, why you think that of me? Maybe you got a misunderstanding about me, but I've never hit anyone in my life. I've never hit children in my life. That's how you're going to confront them. Are you going to say, look, I appreciate you thinking that of me, and if you do, how can I help? What can I do to help you feel better? And I really apologize if I've hurt you. That's what you say to the neighbor. Then they'll feel a little better about you. Now, maybe they won't talk to you right away, but they'll say, this neighbor's apologizing to me. It could be a step. If someone's waving at you, at least they waved at you. They acknowledged you, right? Is that sign? Wave is a sign of respect. You're asking me this. Kids are waving at you, but not stop when you ask. And just say, I got things to do. I'm very busy. Could you please find another sport? I'm very busy. I don't have time, and I gotta run. I got a million things to do. I have to go out today. I have an appointment. And then they'll say, okay, bye. They get the picture when you say that. You're giving hints to that you're busy. Giving hints are just a way of saying I'm busy. Now, it's good. You got like hints, that's good, which is great. Another way to resolve your problem with the neighbor is stop fighting with your neighbor. Every time you fight, people call police. It's just frightening to people. When you scream out loud, even if you didn't hurt anyone, people may assume you're abusing someone, even if you didn't, or they got the wrong meaning. Just tell them, I don't understand why you think that, but ask them why. Now, that's the hardest thing to do. If it doesn't work, you tried, right? You tried. And you did your best, so that's all you can do. Another way you can resolve your issues with a neighbor, invite them to your backyard. Invite them over for tea. Say, would you like to come to my house for tea And they'll say, oh, okay, yes, maybe. Or if they don't want to, they can politely recline and say, I'm sorry, something came up. And then you can reschedule. But invite your neighbor over for tea and confront them that way. But have a mediator with you just in case. Have someone with you just in case and talk about it. Because you really, would feel better. And if you have to take meds, take meds. It's not going to kill you. But don't take meds that will make you extremely tired. Take meds that suit you. Okay. So we discussed this. If you feel you need meds, take meds. Take time out. Take the time to talk to someone. Or have a mediator with you. A meditator with you when you talk to someone. Have someone with you when you talk to the neighbor about it. Then you feel better. So at least have someone with you. Think about it. When you do that, the neighbor feels better about you and doesn't think bad of you. If you need help confronting the neighbor, call a crisis line. They'll send someone over. If you need someone to be with you at the time you confront them, they'll send someone over from the mental health team to be with you when you confront them. So nothing bad will happen. And when you have that with you, then they can talk, right? Have someone with you at first. Then when you feel better, they won't need to be with you. But do it for a while till you feel better. And then when the neighbor has a good feeling about you, you don't need to fight. You just need to resolve it. All you need to do is talk to someone. Call a crisis line if you're in crisis. That's why they have them out there. Just pick up the phone. Also, ask someone if they can be with you when you confront the neighbor. Say, I need someone with me to confront the neighbor. I'm afraid myself to be there. And they'll say, okay, we'll send someone. Don't shout at them, don't scream. Just be patient, like you would be if someone's with you, right? But if you need someone there to help you confront the neighbor, then at least you have backup. Okay? That's how it works. You can have someone with you when you confront the neighbor. Don't go alone. Have someone with you. Make sure that person is with you. And they can just tell the neighbor, I was told to be with a person. They felt uncomfortable. The neighbor won't be angry at you over that. Maybe they just see that you're not feeling in the right mind and maybe you made mistakes that maybe you can correct. But understand that if a neighbor thinks you're abusing children, even if you didn't, you can simply tell the neighbor you're not. And if you're afraid to tell the neighbor, have someone with you. Don't argue. Have someone with you. Just have the person with you come with you when you tell the neighbor that, because you're afraid. And it might help if someone's with you to talk to them saying, I understand, but I have to be with this person because they're afraid. And that's a good thing, right? It's not the end of the world because you and a neighbor had difficulties. It's not. But sometimes we get in this mind where people are, oh, well, there's something going on, or we're not feeling well, and we say things we don't mean But if a neighbor's assuming you're abusing children, even if you didn't, why are they saying that? I don't think you're abusing children. I don't believe it, but why is a neighbor saying that? They don't even know you, and then they suddenly say that? It makes no sense. Have someone with you when you want to confront them. So, if a neighbor has gotten authorities involved and it gets to the point where police are involved, then maybe you should think about what you're saying to children. And if the neighbor thinks that, then confront them. Have someone with you when you do it. The neighbor may be saying it for a good reason or something, I don't know. So, I don't know, the neighbor thinks that, so I'm not gonna argue. I just don't understand. But, things happen in life that we can't explain, alright? I hope this solution helps. Let me know in the comments down below if you ever had a problem with your neighbor or an argument or a fallout with your neighbor. Let me know in the comments down below and ask how you can resolve it. There are several solutions to going about it.